Look after yourself, look after one another. Some of you will recognize this quote as the motto from the organization Right to Play, or remind you of a slogan like Better Together. For some, these words have a powerful impact, and for others, they could mean nothing. Today, I'll be speaking to you about how these words went from having no meaning to shaping the way I treat myself and those around me. Before writing this speech, I struggled with the idea of what to talk about. I wasn't sure what advice I could give to all of you that you didn't already know, or what moments from my life that could possibly be of help to you. For me, this idea of looking after others came naturally, yet when thinking about how I've treated myself over the years, I've struggled. However, my hope is that by the end of this talk, you will get to see a different side to me and really take in what I have to say. For me, being open and vulnerable to others hasn't always been easy. Growing up, my head was always filled with insecurities, and I constantly prevented myself from being vulnerable in fear of rejection or embarrassment. While I've always been blessed with supportive friends and family members, I used to become easily overwhelmed with my own insecurities and dreaded coming to school in fear of failing or embarrassing myself. I hated learning. I got bored super easily, and if I didn't get something right away, I would give up. I've always felt pretty mediocre concerning my ability to achieve in most things I've taken part in. However, one thing I've always been good at is being my own critic. From the time I was 8 years old, I could look in a mirror and tell you every one of my flaws. I was unhappy with myself and didn't feel the need to try hard in things because of my unhappiness. I always felt like I needed improvements in being skinnier, prettier, nicer, and kinder because in my mind, the grass was always greener. I put a lot of pressure on myself and felt as though I needed to carry the world on my shoulders. This is a feeling that I've come to realize never goes away. Being at Appleby, we all know the feeling of biting off more than we can chew and fear of disappointing others or trying to make ourselves better while constantly comparing one another. I want you all to remember, as we enter this future stage of our lives, to support one another, make the best decisions for yourself, and don't let others influence you. Finally, don't change in hopes to please others. When I was in the 8th grade, my family was going through many changes. Looking back on my life, I think this was a time when I struggled the most internally. I was entering a new school without my elementary friends, moving houses, and watching my mom struggle with her health while my sister struggled with deciding her future and her overall self-esteem and confidence. For those who don't know, I'm the luckiest person in the world to have the family that I do. My mom, Kathleen, otherwise known as Miss Kirkpatrick, is a living angel and the most caring, compassionate, and giving person I know. She's the reason I am the way I am and is my true inspiration. She's the type of person who makes a wish when she sees a chipmunk or a ladybug and dances through thunderstorms. My dad, Ben, or famously known by my friends as Benoit, is easily the funniest and most hardworking person I know. He can make me laugh more than anyone else, and everyone knows I can't get a story out about him without laughing uncontrollably. While my sister, Mackenzie, has always been my best friend and my go-to for anything. She is the most beautiful person I've ever met, both inside and out, and I'm always in constant awe of her. However, during this difficult time in my life, I felt like I needed to be there for my family and that my stress was irrelevant and added more pressure. I decided that I need to keep my anxiety hidden in order to help others, including my family. While most people think grade 8 is not stressful, I felt that at any moment my world would come crashing down and I would lose control. I had failed math and science tests. I worked hard to be there for my sister when she needed me the most and would try to help out in any way I could to keep things stress-free and orderly within our household. This was a year where I put others before myself and let my own insecurities remain hidden. While being there for others is extremely important, I lost sight of the other half of the quote, look after yourself. Who I am as a person is someone who doesn't like to project my problems or issues onto others. I've always been my biggest critic and held myself to very high standards. I've always felt like I needed to make improvements concerning myself and to be well-liked by others. So I decided to make changes going into my first year of high school at Appleby. I worked hard to be well-liked by everyone and to be there for others so they wouldn't experience the similar emotions I was feeling deep down inside. When people asked me how I was, I put a smile on my face and replied with good. In reality, I kept my anxiety and insecurities locked up deep inside, trying to contain them to the best of my abilities until I no longer could. I always felt that if I didn't talk about my insecurities and worked hard to fix them on my own, then it would be as though they didn't exist. But I couldn't have been more wrong. What I've come to realize is that the grass isn't always greener. After making those changes that I promised my 14-year-old self would make me happy, I realized that I was terribly wrong. My insecurities only got worse, and I felt I was constantly hiding something. Through the support of my family and friends, I have learned the importance of making time for myself, being kinder to myself, and trying to treat myself the way I treat others. Because if I look back on my amazing childhood, the only thing I would change is how Maddie, treated myself. You're probably wondering why I'm speaking about the 8th and 9th grade, as we all know those times are in the past. What I realize now is that those insecurities I felt then are still with me now. The difference is, as we enter this new chapter in life, I now know the importance of being kind to one another, but more importantly, to be kind to yourself. When times get busy, it's okay to stay in to finish that last-minute assignment or to study for that test coming up next week. But it is also important to look after yourself and spend time with family and friends. At Appleby, it's so easy to allow ourselves to get overwhelmed and forget about the amount of support we have. Be confident with who you are and know that everyone here is watching you, is here to support and watch you succeed. This is something I now know and can be prouder to be a part of this kind, supportive, and accepting community. I know that I'm so proud of each and every one of you and can't wait to see what lies ahead in each of your amazing futures. Senior school, we are here. We made it, and we are almost done. This is our final chapter at Appleby, and I think look after yourself and look after one another is so appropriate for us. Senior ones, I'm sure you all have heard all the crazy rumors about grade 11 and are already experiencing the craziness that this year can bring. Having gone through it, I'm here to tell you it isn't that bad. This is a year that can be stressful, yet so much fun. Remember to look out for one another and realize that you are all in the same boat. Don't forget to work hard, be nice to people, and have fun. This year goes by so fast, so make the most of it while you can. To my fellow senior twos, I still can't believe this is our final year. It's hard to believe that we are all living together, but soon won't be in each other's everyday presence come next year. We are now experiencing the hard reality of being an Appleby student for the last time. I think Rohan really put it into perspective in his chapel speech last week that our time at Appleby is so limited. Don't take it for granted, and we must make it the most of it while we still can. As a class, we have mastered the look after yourself, look after one another. I couldn't ask for a better grade to be in or better friends to have. Being surrounded by all of you has pushed me to go outside of my comfort zone and to not be embarrassed to be myself and always feel supported. I can't thank you enough for allowing me to genuinely enjoy coming to school every day. Remember that we are all in this together and that no one walks alone. While I still have the insecurities of my grade 9 self, I know that I'm accepted and supported. Truth be told, given my personality, I'm likely to always have these insecurities. However, knowing that I'm surrounded by a solid core of genuine and caring individuals who really care about me makes me know that I'm not alone. As we've seen from this year's Round Square International Conference theme of Bring Your Difference, each of you add valuable assets to our community. Embrace these differences and the differences of those around you and give yourself the respect that you give to others and deserve. Now please rise and sing along with me hymn 662.